That we can look at overall in our state teachers being rated satisfactory and unsatisfactory, but we also have to take into account the context and the multiple factors that come into play for what a teacher is doing in their work every single day. So I could be an amazingly effective teacher in one circumstance and in one school that has all the resources it needs, students who attend every day with breakfast in their bellies, ready to learn, came to kindergarten ready to read a book because it had already happened. And taking that same teacher and putting them in another school where you have a high percentage of students who don't speak English as a first language. If you have a high percentage of students coming from impoverished circumstances where you don't necessarily have the physical curriculum materials that you need in order to be able to teach. So when we're talking about what goes into being a satisfactory or unsatisfactory teacher, or even expanding those definitions and talking about what it means to be a great teacher, we need to take into account all of those things. I can't equate student test scores to teacher effectiveness directly. There are just too many other factors and too many other ways that we can use to measure student learning and also measure teacher effectiveness that go beyond the standardized test. So the bill suggests that 50% or no less than 50% of a teacher's evaluation be based upon student performance. And it does touch upon the idea of multiple measures of student performance. The issue is that as the bill goes on to define what those measures are and what assessments are, all of the things listed are in fact standardized tests. The PSSA, the PASA, for example, or Keystone exams as they begin to be developed, and even discussions of PVAS or the value-added system do not fully take into account the many, many ways that we have to measure student learning that are as authentic and often more authentic and more valid and fair to all students and all kinds of learners and all teachers in terms of truly measuring student performance. So that student performance be a large part of what comprises a teacher's evaluation is not an issue. Of course it should. But when we're defining student performance as the multiple measures are actually multiple tests and multiple standardized tests, that's really limiting, and it does not provide an accurate picture of what students are doing, what teachers are doing. It could be much more robust. 50% being student performance, if it were a truly full picture of all the ways in which we can measure student learning and student growth, may not be too high of a figure. 50% based upon standardized test scores is hugely unbalanced and far too much.